there! So last time I showed you my basement under the stairs closet organization video, and I talked about the bigger project that was associated with that project, and the reason why I couldn't post anything for a couple of weeks was because I was knee-deep in this big project that I've been meaning to do for years now. I mean, like years. So a little backstory. First of all, let me introduce the project. It is our basement storage slash utility slash laundry room. It's all in one room. It's an unfinished room. It's the only unfinished part of our house. It has a floor but no ceiling. It's open ceiling. So you see like the wooden beams and the piping and everything. So it's not like a live-in space. It's a very ample room, and the camera does not do the space justice. It is a lot bigger than it looks on screen. And I don't know what was wrong with me, but it became a big jumbled mess, like right away. When we moved in 5 years ago, I tore down some of the existing shelving they had installed and put up Alpha from the Container Store, which is my favorite shelving slash closet system to install. They're in all the closets in my house. I've become like a mini expert of sorts, in my own opinion, my own humble opinion, on how to install them, and I designed them all myself. And I love that the Container Store is great because they'll help you a lot, or they'll let you help yourself. You know, it's sort of like a whatever you need sort of situation. So that's great, because for me, I love designing and building closets and storage and stuff like that, so it works out perfect. So I had put up some shelves, and then like a year or two later I put up another area for my laundry, like a little laundry area, and at that point, that's when things started to get really a little bit messy. As we've been living in our house and I've accumulated more stuff, I'm huge on seasonal decorations, especially for fall and winter. If you guys have seen my Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas home tours that I posted last year, you'll know I'm a bit of like a decorations crazy person. But I've just accumulated stuff over the years now, and that means more storage bins, and that means I needed to rethink my storage organization, but I don't know, I was just waiting, and because I knew it was going to be a huge endeavor, and I just kept kind of putting it off, and other things kind of took precedence and whatever. Well, I finally got to it, and I spent the last 2 weeks knee-deep in it, like I said, literally, because I had stuff stacked up on the floor, and you will see that in my before tour. But the reason, before I show you that and get into my after tour, the reason it took so long, well, first of all, you'll see it's a really big space, but also it was a real process. I did not have a really clear idea at all of what I was going to do in there. I had like a general sense, but not like an exacto plan or anything. And I knew that meant there was going to be a lot of planning while organizing. I honestly made 4 trips to the Container Store in 1 week to buy shelves and stuff as I like figured things out kind of on the go. And it's not my favorite way to do a project, but sometimes with these like really big projects that you don't really have a very clear idea of how you want to do it, sometimes you need to get into the project before you really decide. And that's exactly what happened. So it was a lot of stopping and starting and rethinking and rearranging and all that. And the other reason it took me so long is because it was very physical work. I did all of it myself. You know, Dawn works full-time, and I consider myself like a full-time housewife, and so that's part of my job is, you know, doing those things. And so a lot of those bins that you'll see are very heavy, and like I said, I moved them like a dozen times, and it was just really physical work. So I couldn't work on it every single day back to back, and I couldn't work on it for huge amounts of time to avoid injury. And I have been sore, and like, you know, my muscles have been really tired from all the lifting, a lot of deadlifting up and down ladders and stuff. So it was a real physical project, and the installing of the new shelves and all that, you'll see. Anyway, I'm going to get into the before tour because I know I have a huge, long after tour to show you, and this video is going to be like an hour long, and I've already talked forever, as usual. But without further ado, here is my scary before tour. Please be kind. I'm only human, just like anybody else. Definitely not perfect at all. And then I'll show you my after tour. So we're standing here at the door to the laundry / utility room, and I'm gonna warn you, it's a bit of a mess. So here it is. It's actually a really nice space. It's very big. I'm sure the camera will make it look smaller than it is, but it's very roomy. And when we moved in, there were shelves up that I didn't like, so I pulled them down and put up Alpha instead. These shelves we installed when we moved in, or I installed. That shelf above the laundry machine stuff was already here. I put in this whole laundry area, all Alpha of course, and then that, those, what do we call those brackets? Standards that are on the wall already were there. They were part of the other shelving system, so I didn't take them down because Alpha fits into them. But we put that up, but we didn't line it up enough so that it could connect, if you know what I mean, like the little cutouts that hold the brackets, they don't line up, so I can't put a shelf across, which was my intention, but it's okay. I was going to have that redone, and then I just didn't want to spend the money and the time on it, and I decided to just leave it like that. So I also have these tables in here that I had in my craft room before I got my Pottery Barn furniture. So these are like from Home Decorators, I think. And then we have a really big Christmas tree. There's a bit of an alcove right there, so a Christmas tree fits perfectly there. And then a couple more shelves we put in, and some more Christmas things. So let me start back at the beginning here and just kind of walk you through this sort of quickly and kind of tell you what happened. It's never really been terribly organized. It's definitely gotten more cluttered because this past year I decided to change my storage bin system from organizing by type to organizing by room for decor. So all this stuff right here is Christmas decor, obviously with the Christmas kind of themed boxes, and all of that stuff that we used to throw this big Halloween party. We haven't been doing that in the past couple of years. So all that's right up there, and it's taking up a lot of space, but I don't want to get rid of the things because I spent a lot of time and money on those decorations, and eventually we might have a party again. So I'm going to save that stuff, but it's taking up like valuable real estate on this wall, so I'm going to move it. And I don't have room for my current autumn decorations because that's taking up a lot of room. And then I do have kind of a lot of empty bins. Those are empty bins, those are empty bins, those are empty bins. Still on the floor here. This is a freezer. I actually defrosted the freezer last night, cleaned it out totally. That's what this stuff is. That has to go back upstairs. I was storing food and stuff in there, and the pan was for the defrosting to drip into, so that's got to be put away. Some more Christmas stuff. This is our like utility stuff, or sump pump and backup sump pump. That's an old shelf that I'm probably just gonna give away. I think I'm gonna end up giving away a lot of things to like Goodwill or something. I had it forever, we never use it. And then paint, and boxes of things that I don't want to throw out the boxes of, like collectibles and things. And then those blue bins are summer decorations, and the purple and green ones are spring, and those need a home. I have stuff out here that needs to home, and also stuff for what I'm going to be working on. More empty bins. Those are stuff to wrap things in, like bubble wrap, and those bags are full of wrapping paper, like brown paper. And basically, you get the gist of it. I mean, I really want all of this stuff off the floor as much as possible. So what I've decided to do is I'm leaving all the shelving as is, but I'm going to add a shelf right above the laundry room, and that's what I'm going to do today. A Container Store is holding their annual shelving sale right now, and everything's 25% off. The shelves are still upstairs, so I have to go get them, but I'm going to mount 6 standards so they can bear a lot of weight. And then I have 10 feet worth of white shelving. I got the 20-inch deep. That's what that shelving is. And that's where I'm going to put all the Halloween decorations that we don't use. Because it's kind of a hard place to reach. So I think that's a good place to put that stuff. And then I can, you know, free up space to put up these bins that are on the floor. And obviously I still have quite a few things to put away. The laundry section, I like how I organize that. I'm buying a new laundry bin organizer thing. I'll show you guys in the after tour. All of that stuff's gonna get rearranged, redistributed, given away, whatever. And I'm gonna put bedding and seasonal pillows up there for our couch in our living room. And I already did start a little work in the last week or so, kind of going through things. Got recycling, things to put away. Those are the pillows I was talking about. And then I also have the issue of this bedding. This is our extra guest bedding, so we have an air bed. That's what's in that little brown thing. And then this is the bedding for it. I have a set, and you know, the mattress pad and all that. Now this, I want to fit all of these things can fit in the little linen closet in our bathroom in the basement here, which I'll post a separate video on. But this stuff has to go in the storage room because it's too large to fit in that little closet. So I did start a little bit already, and I've been working on the basement under the stairs closet at the same time, which is basically done, but I need to film all these videos before I could post any final shots because they're all connected. It's all storage. So that's the basic gist of things. I'm going to do my best to get those shelves up today, and I don't know if I'll check back in with you guys before I finish, or just to show you the finished product. I'll probably do a mid-process check-in because I like to do that, kind of show you how things are going. But that's my mess. Check this out. I am pretty darn proud of myself, and I installed it while doing laundry simultaneously, and it actually took a little bit longer than it would normally have because I had to maneuver around the washer and dryer, which obviously I couldn't do with the ladder to drill into the wall, but I did it. I'm super proud of myself. Awesome. Well, I'm sort of in the middle of things right now, just kind of working out in my brain what I want to do with where I want things to go, and actually, you know, redistributing some boxes and contents of boxes and stuff. So it's a big mess, but I did get my Halloween party decorations up there. You know, that's the most out of the way place because I don't use them currently. So that's set, and I found out I have room to put another shelf in, which opens up even more space. So I am going to continue figuring this out before I make a final container store run for some more shelves and bins and things, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'm just at the last stages of my project now. I'm going to be doing some labeling and putting away of things that don't belong down here anymore. I have some bins left. I have to figure out where to put those. I might throw them up in the garage, actually. I'm not going to show you the actual space until the after tour, but I have one big bag of garbage, and these are all recycling. Mainly just like old packaging things and some boxes and stuff. And then this is paint that I have to dispose of, so I'll have to call the village because you can't just throw paint out. I'll have to figure out where and how I dispose of those properly. But there's some doubles and some really old things that are just not worth keeping anymore. This bin has things that all belong upstairs, mostly on the first level. In fact, I think they all belong on the first level. I have one extra shelf that I'll put with my extra alpha stuff. And then all of this is to give away. So as you can see, there's quite a bit. That large bin has like smaller things, and then this vacuum cleaner, and I have a Christmas tree and some old pillows and things that I'm gonna give away. And luckily, the Epilepsy Foundation actually does curbside pickup in our neighborhood about once a month, and you just sign up for individual, you know, each time, and they're coming in about a week, so it's perfect timing. I'm going to store all this in the extra space in my garage until then, and then I'll put it all out for them to pick up. I have some extra boxes here. those are all empty now, and they're really nice. I'm not going to get rid of them, but I'm going to break them down and store them. And then these are extra bins that I'm not using now, so I'll need to find another place for those as well. That is my progress. I'm going to get to labeling, and Dawn's going to help me put this stuff away, and then I'm going to show you the after tour. And here is the final tour, my big reveal. I'll try to go as smoothly and as slowly as possible. Ta-da! I think it looks about a bajillion times better. I'm going to go through every component and walk you through it, but I just wanted to give you guys a general overview first of what it looks like now. So you can see it really opened up the space, and the camera does not do this room justice at all because it is huge, and I think the floor is a little bit deceiving. But let's start with this back wall because that's where I made the biggest changes. Obviously, those shelves were not there before I installed those myself. I think of myself as a, pretty experienced closet and shelf installer of Alpha. I got Alpha shelves because I had Alpha all throughout this room, obviously. Container Store is having their 25% off shelving sale, so that worked out really well. So I saved a bit, and I basically did exactly what I thought I was going to do, and I moved all of the Halloween party bins, and those are those 7 bins and that 1 tub on the top shelf. That's really out of the way, probably the hardest to reach place in this whole storage room, so I wanted them out of the way because we haven't been hosting our Halloween party for a couple of years now. But I didn't want to get rid of them because I think eventually we might do it again. So I'm hanging on to them for now. So that they're all up there and everything's labeled, of course. I spent a long time labeling this morning. I mean, a lot of the bins were already labeled, but the newer things that I did, I had to label today. And then I actually had enough room to install. I thought I was only going to be able to fit 1 shelf, but I had enough room to install 2. So I put another one in, as you can see. And that one's mainly linens. So on the very far side here, I have 3 medium size. I think they're the boot bins from the Container Store. I don't know. I've had them for a long time. So I didn't buy them. I already had them. And I have these brown table linens, and so lots of tablecloths and napkins, and then spring-ish set, a very large set as well. And then I have some miscellaneous runners that I don't use in this house. I had bought them for our condo, 7 years ago, but they're really nice and I want to hang on to them, but I don't use them in my seasonal decoration rotation, which I usually store in the bins with the seasonal decorations. So that's why they have their own bin. Then these things in these are clear PVA chests, I think that's what they're called. They're from the Container Store. Some I already had and I bought some more. And I will link as many of the products as I can in the more info bar below, but those first 2 have our extra guest comforter, and it's like a quilt, and the the pillows and things of that nature. Those are those two chests, I think they're called. And then the 2 over here have the pillows that I swap out in our living room seasonally. So I have 3 sets of pillows. One that's always on the couch at any given time, and that's still the spring-summer ones right now, but I'm going to take those down, put the fall ones up. Then I have the fall set right there and the winter set right there. So I have those. And then this is not going to stay here. I haven't quite decided what to do with these pillows. These were the pillows that came with the couch in our living room originally, but I don't use them in there. And I need to find a new home for them, but that's the one thing I haven't quite figured out yet. But then I have 2 smaller sized of those PVA chests. I think they're called chests. They're just kind of like a vinyl plasticky kind of thing. They're nice for linens because they're not airtight, so your linens and pillows and things can breathe, but they also keep them protected from dust and whatever. So that one has an extra mattress pad for a double-sized bed, and we do have an air bed that we can put up down here to make like a an extra guest room, and that's what those things are for. And I have the rest of that bedding stuff stored in the linen closet in the bathroom down here, which is a full bathroom, and I think I'm going to post an entirely separate video on that. And then that right there is a very old king-size mattress pad that we used to use, but then we got a new one when we got a new mattress that came with our mattress. So I just saved that one as backup just in case. And this shelf on the bottom was already here, and this is the only shelf that I left in that came with the house originally. So the house was 7 years old when we moved in, and it had a lot of this shelving in with this bend in it. This, I don't know what to call this, but I really didn't like that, so I tore it all down and put up all alpha. But I left this one in because I like how I can hang hangers in it. But I think I'm going to do a separate laundry storage video, so I'm going to just go through this quickly with you guys. I hung this little it's basically just like a coat rack peg thing. It's also from Alpha, to put the mops in their Swiffer, our mop and Swiffer, and it used to be a broom down here. I don't know what happened to that. Excuse me. Those two bags have rags in them for cleaning, those cleaning products and that thing, and that's extra cleaning products, as well as my labeler that lives down here. And I did do some installing of things. Well, I guess I really only hung a couple of things. I hung up that sweater dryer just using those 3M hooks that you can get that just stick to your wall, because that I don't use very often, but I like to keep it out of the way, and now it's up and out of the way. And I moved my ironing board over, and I moved a lot of things over. Actually, this was a lot of thinking through, processing. Actually, if you remember, had these, I have two of these tables. They used to be in my office / craft room before I got my Pottery Barn furniture. I had these in the middle of the floor, and now it's nice and open and empty. And I figured out that this one tucks perfectly in between the Alpha I had already had installed when we moved in, the laundry center I'd already installed, and our water heater. And it's not touching the water heater, it's not like dangerous or anything. And it's also on felt, has felt fuzzies under the legs, so it just slides out really easily. So I can easily, I've just doubled my folding area, which is awesome. So that works well. I just stored an extra laundry bin down there that I don't use very often. And I just rearranged the things that I keep on the shelves here. So right now, what I love about this part especially is those things can totally go up in the attic. They're bins that are housing empty boxes for the most part, those two top shelves there. The top, you know, I collect, I get a lot of how do you pronounce that? I never know. Swarovski things that Don gives me as gifts, and I get, you know, every year I buy the Peanuts gang, you know, Snoopy and Charlie Brown and all that, their ornaments and stuff. So I just kind of separated my collectible boxes that are empty, but I want to save because they're collectibles, into these 5-6 bins here, and these are the types of things that I could easily pop up in the attic. I don't like to store a lot of things in the attic unless they're things like empty boxes that are in like really nice utility tubs like that, because it's not climate controlled up there. But you know, as long as they're pretty much water resistant, then I don't worry about things like that up there. So in the event that I need to expand my needs to be inside storage, those 6 bins can go up in the attic, and that opens up space for more bins. Then I actually purchased these open clear plastic, these are like heavy utility bins from the Container Store as well. And I had separated my rags into sheets and blankets and towels, and those are like my big rags, whereas the little ones that we use for cleaning and such are in those green bags. And then I put, I had these empty crates that I think I got at IKEA a really long time ago when I was still in college. I think they're from IKEA, either that or the Container Store, and I just put packing paper in one and bubble wrap in the other, because I always end up needing things like that for storing seasonal decorations. And I finally hung my pegboard that's been sitting there forever, not pegboard, push pin board, bulletin board. I did purchase this laundry accessory, and it was actually a big pain in my butt to assemble. It came in like 12 pieces, but I did it, and I really like this. I don't want to go into too much detail with my laundry storage right now because I'm going to do a separate video, but you guys can wait for that. I'll talk about that more in my laundry organization video. You know, what exactly that is, why I wanted that, and a little bit on the bottom that I keep my ironing in. Now that you can see, I picked everything up off the floor here. This was like a huge jumbled, piled up mess. And I basically turned this into fall and winter decoration storage. So on the left side, as I had it before, I have, it's basically in half really, I have all Christmas, and you can kind of tell by the Christmas colored bins. And those I had already on hand. You know, these clear ones I've had probably for about 5 years since we moved in our first Christmas. I bought these ones last year, and these other ones are more new. But the Christmas ones, I decided I was going to like go all to one kind of bin, this kind of bin. These are Sterilite bins. They're all Sterilite bins actually, and I've gotten them at Target at various times. But after thinking about it, I thought it was a waste of money, and I don't mind that it doesn't look completely uniform. It's really easy to pick out the Christmas bins because obviously they're very colorful and specific and unique. So I decided to leave it, and you know, it's not like it has to be absolutely uniform and perfect. Yes, that is a nice aesthetic, but this isn't a room that I have like company in or guests in, or like a closet where people are looking in it where I would be more picky. You know, I mean, this is obviously mainly our utility slash storage slash laundry room. So I didn't want to get too picky about it. So as you can see, I just organized, kind of cleaned things up, and I actually spent a whole lot of time going through bins and reorganizing things, because I think I mentioned in my before tour, I had done I'd started a new organizational system where I organized by room. So as you'll see here, there's a big label that says what the holiday or time of year is, and then it says what room it goes in. So when Don's helping me bring bins upstairs, he can just look at the label and know, oh, okay, I'll put this in the family room. Okay, I'll put this one in the kitchen. Okay, you know, etc. And I had started that last fall, but I hadn't quite totally transitioned, so I spent a long time going through bins, making sure everything was where I wanted it, and I ended up saving myself a lot of time for the future, I think. But those two blue bins at the top are for the basement. These are food storage related, and I usually keep them behind my couch during Christmas time, so I have empty tins for cookies and then treat packaging, stuff like that. And then family room decorations, these two bins, and kitchen decorations. I'm sorry if my camera's freaking out. I have a phone down here. We have a plugged-in landline, not a wireless phone, if you know what I mean. Handless, cordless, not a cordless phone. And I really want one that I can just mount on the wall, so I think I'm going to purchase that. That I didn't finish. And I have these two big round trays that are just out because we actually use them quite a bit to bring up glassware that we store in our little basement kitchenette to the upstairs. So I wanted to leave those out instead of putting them in a bin. Those are kind of the random things. But then you see the rest of the Christmas bins. And then over here is where I did a lot of bin purchasing. So I had some of these on hand already, these big ones. I actually had enough. I had already, that's one's upside down. Hold on, sorry, that bin was backwards. Anyway, I had already bought a whole bunch of these last fall when I started redoing, like I said, my organizational system for storage. So I basically finished filling them out because I hadn't done that yet, and I had kind of had things just like haphazardly piled up in front of this area. But they go from heaviest to lightest in terms of seasons. So normally I would probably go, heaviest to lightest. You want the heaviest ones on the bottom, so you don't have to lift them, obviously. So I've got October decorations. I have 3 bins for that, and then just one really big accessory that doesn't fit in a bin at the moment. And they're obviously separated, designated by room. 2 bins for Thanksgiving specific, because I host a very large Thanksgiving gathering every year. Me and Don, I mean. And then 2 bins that are November specific decorations. And then in the bottom here, I have 3 large bins. These are also Sterilite, that have larger size decorations. You know, like pillows and big baskets and things like that. So I have October, this bin has things that are for both months, so those are really Halloween specific. This is for both October, November, and that one's just for November with kind of Thanksgiving specific things. And then I have one bin for Valentine's Day, those are my February decorations, and one very little bin for January, because I mainly keep my Christmas stuff out until mid-January, and then I just want to have a couple of extra things. So I just have a little bin for that, and then I have a little bin. These are obviously also from the same Sterilite line that I got at Target, and I just bought these little ones this time. This little bin with all of my stockings and stocking holders that are specific to my family, because some of you may know Don's family spends Christmas in Utah, or family home in Utah. My family does not fly out to Utah for the holidays, so Don and I stay home for Christmas Eve and Christmas, or up until that point. And then we usually fly to Utah the day after Christmas. And we have my family over for Christmas Eve, and I traditionally stuff stockings. For everyone, if you watched my holiday prep series last year, you know I'm quite a stocking lover. I love stuffing stockings. It's like one of my favorite gift-giving ways of gift giving. But I decided to have an extra bin for there, and I have room to grow there too, if need be. And then these 6 bins, I decided to go with these little, you know, kind of third-size bins for the decorative collectible plates and mugs that I display on the shelves in my breakfast nook and in the corner cabinet that usually houses my antique teacups in our kitchen up in the breakfast nook, because they're really heavy and really fragile. So that way I can just carry up 1 or 2 at a time and not have a huge bin full of them, really, really heavy, and risk dropping them. So that's why I decided to go with that method of storage. At the end here I have one empty large bin, so that's nice to have. And then this I was actually using to dry clothes on before. It's a really not very well made, you know, rolling garment rack, but I mean, it's really very flimsy, but I don't know. I'm going to hang on to it for now, and I just kind of tucked it right here for right now because I don't know if I really want to save it or not. It's possible I'd want to store coats down here eventually, in which case I might rethink, you know, storage at some point in the future, but for right now it's okay. But I decided to hang on to that thing just in the event that I need it, a makeshift closet at any moment. So now you can see kind of the length view here of the laundry end and the main, you know, fall winter storage bins, as well as some linens and empty boxes and things of that nature. Now moving on over here, like I said, I broke that table down. I didn't break it down. I just moved the 2 pieces. I had them pushed together to make one square table. One piece went over there to be an extra folding table, and I figured out that this table fits right snug up next to our backup sump pump. Living in the Midwest, here in the Chicagoland area, we have sump pump, backup sump pump, ejector. That's that thing in the corner. So that doesn't run like ever. I don't think we've ever actually used it, but you know, we have it just in the event of a power failure or flood or whatever. That can save your basement from flooding. But again, this little table, and I believe I got these tables, you know, when we moved in about 5 years ago. I got them from Home Decorators Collection, as well as little stools. I wanted to save them because they're nice little tables, and I might be able to use them at some point, and now I am using them. And it's on felt fuzzy, so it's really easy to move quickly out of the way. It's not on top of the pump at all. And I did store a couple of empty bins and baskets back there. But again, they're empty. Nothing's in there that's going to get damaged. It's not bothering the backup sump pump system. I'm not terribly worried about it. I have our ice maker on top of there, and a little extra room to, you know, when I'm working on putting things in the freezer or whatever, I can put things in there. I actually did go ahead and clean out the freezer. It really needed attention. I had to toss actually quite a few things because I kind of forgot about a lot of the things in there, so I'm starting a new system of organization with the freezer. I'm going to get a nice magnetic pad of paper and start listing things down that are in there and the dates they go in and the dates they need to come out by. So right now there's basically nothing in it but some candy, so I guess I'll show you. Nothing, but I defrosted it. It's not a self-defrosting freezer. It needed some work. So I have all my candy in that bin down there that I save I freeze candy about every other year, so I only have to buy seasonal candy every other year, basically, and it freezes well for up to a year. And then we have some barbecue sauce, and that's it. But I'll start filling this out, especially now with fall and winter and making stews and soups and casseroles and things of that nature. And I just have some extra cold packs to give, you know, if family members need to take something home and keep something cold. And then I put some really lightweight bins on top that don't have a lot of things in them. I didn't want to store anything terribly heavy on top of there, although it's metal frame freezer. But this is kind of just miscellaneous things. I have 2 little pop-up toasters that we use when we host brunches, you know, for people to toast their bagels or toast or whatever. I have our Cuisinart Grind and Brew was the coffee machine we had before we got our Keurig, and I just figure I should keep it just in case we ever want to go back or the other thing breaks or something. Then I have a bin for miscellaneous kitchen things, and right now the only thing in there is a wood knife block. A couple of years ago when I redid my kitchen, I put all of our knives in a drawer, in like a wooden knife holder that fits in a drawer. But I wanted to save it because those are actually really expensive and I might want to use it someday. And then those tubs up there I use to brine my turkeys at Thanksgiving. Those will fit 2 up to 22-pound turkeys. So I always have those down here. And I finally figured out how to store my paint. And I know I need to have a better paint backup method. I really am just counting on these tins to tell me what colors go in what rooms. Because they're probably all bad by now. Paint does not last forever, and this is not stored the way paint should be stored. And I'm going to look into how to store paint in the event that we repaint a room or something, then I'll start from scratch. But right now I don't see the need to, you know, buy paint just to have it on hand, so I'm just keeping the cans. And I'm actually using this old little piece of furniture, I think I mentioned in the before tour as well, that I got from, oh gosh, I think it was from, I think it was from Cost Plus World Market, but I'm not sure. I've had it forever. We had it in our condo in our kitchen. We had a tiny little, kind of like a closet-sized walk-in kitchen, and I had that at the very end of the kitchen to hold, you know, extra things so we didn't have a lot of cabinet space. And I was going to get rid of it, and then I was like, I wonder if my paint cans would fit on it. And they do. They fit perfectly, and I actually ended up putting aside probably about half of the paint cans that were either doubles or just really, really old and practically dried up and empty. And I'm going to have to call the village and figure out how I dispose of those. So I'm happy with how the paint's stored now. I think that's a fine place for it. It's out of the way, but it's easy to access. And I can totally move it in the event that I need to. So there's that. And now we're at the last section here of the storage room. This is back to the storage area. So this side is really all utility, you know, water heater, heat, air conditioning, and air filtration. That's good. I think the air conditioning units are actually outside. So this is mainly the furnace and the water heater, humidifier, in case you're interested. I don't know. And the freezer and our sewer stuff. So back to storage here. I moved all of these spring and summer bins, which I had piled up over there, and most of them were on the floor, over to this, so they were kind of all in one specific area. Still in their same bins. I didn't change that. I added and subtracted a few things, put some more things away. I mean, it was just a lot of time rearranging the contents of bins and putting things away and moving bins around. I must have tried a dozen different, arrangements of how I kept the bins and where I put them and everything in this room before I settled on this. It really was a process. But the summer one's on top in the blue, and the spring one's in the green and the purple. I've managed to fit my Easter baskets in a bin. And then I dedicated a new bin to broken down china bins. They're like really nice china bins, or bins that hold china, and they kind of fold down flat. And I'm not using them right now, so I'm storing them because they're nice, and I spent money on them quite a while ago, and I might want to use them at some point again in the future. I have my little basement ladder just hanging out there. It's really more of like a glorified step stool, but that's really all I need down here. We have our actual ladders in the garage. And then on this one, I put just kind of lightweight things because we have, as you can see over here in the corner, a lot of our cable and our phone. Yeah, basically that's all of our cable and phone line stuff. And I didn't, you know, I wanted it to be easy to get back there, and I didn't want to like squish the cables or anything too much. So what I actually did is I actually bought these little mesh bins a long time ago at the Container Store with the intention to do exactly what I did. I just put in little picture frame holders basically, and hung them up, and I'm just put the ends of the cables in them. I'm not scrunching them up or anything. It's just to kind of keep them corralled back closer to the wall. And also the phone ones have these like really delicate clips on the ends, and if they get bumped they can fall off and mess up our phone line and all that. So, you know, it's really just to keep them safer. And I did, my cable guy was here recently because we got a new internet connection, and I asked him if it was safe / okay to do exactly that. He said of course. So I kind of have miscellaneous stuff in this section, kind of lighter things. Up at the top there I have a bin for a football party, you know, like plates and napkins and decorations and things. You can see there's a big like a drink, what do we call that, like a tub with little footballs on it. Sometimes we host Super Bowl parties, sometimes we host other football parties. Nice to have that stuff on hand, but it's way up high because that doesn't happen very often. These are kind of miscellaneous little bins, and I just had these on hand. I believe these are Sterilite as well. Yeah. Pretty much all the bins I have in this room are Sterilite, with the exception of some Container Store bins. But they're, you know, they're labeled acid-free art pack. That's like little crinkly tissue paper that I use to pack really delicate ornaments and things of that nature. Vase place card holders, those just didn't have a home and I didn't know where else to put them. Apothecary jars. When we hosted our Halloween parties, I would have these apothecary jars with all different kinds of candy and little goodie bags so people could take what you know, different kinds of candy home. And they're really nice jars, and I spent a long time looking for them and, you know, purchasing them. So I'm saving them, and they have their own bin. Extra candles and holders, that's just like, sometimes I just have like more candles than I know what to do with, even though I have candle storage on the other floors of my house as well. And then this bin is labeled, but it's clear and I know exactly what it is. It is the arts and crafts and some toys that I bring out for my nieces whenever they come visit. And then I put all of Winnie's puppy stuff that was kind of piled into the under the stairs closet down here into a bin, and I broke down her puppy size crate, so that's what's there. It doesn't fit in the bin, but I think that's okay. And then I have a bin with some of my personal things from my childhood that I don't really know where else to put. And then we have this like little alcove right there, and our really big front gate Christmas tree fits like a glove right there, and it is just, I bought that tree 5 years ago and I was like, where are we going to store this thing? Can't store it in the garage because it's pre-lit and that could blow the light bulbs, you know, with the change in weather. I knew I had to store it inside, and it's like on this huge stand and it rolls and it's awesome, but it's like ginormous and it fits there and I love it, and that's where it always lives and it's awesome. And then this last section I just dedicated totally to Christmas again. We have our two other trees, the family room Christmas tree, and then I did buy one for the basement that isn't lit, but I'm gonna try to light it myself. It was just a lot less expensive to buy it not lit, so we'll see how that works out. And then my ornament bins for upstairs, this is the woodland ornaments go in our family room, and the colored glass ornaments go in our living room. Wait, I meant to say family room if I didn't say that. And then I have these big bins, really just have pillows and like arranged baskets, really lightweight things in them, so I didn't mind stacking them up there. So the top ones are family room pillows and the little quilt we have that goes on our couch in there, and the rest are for the living room. Kind of lightweight decorations. Those boxes are too big to fit in a bin, and one's a cookie jar and one's my advent calendar. I've had them for many years, and that's just always how I've stored them. These are going to be the bins that house the basement ornaments. This is the first year I'm going to be doing a basement tree because our ornament collection just exploded. So now, you know, over the years, I'm going to put all my Peanuts collectibles, like my Hallmark ornaments on it. I think kind of make it a retro Peanuts version. tree, I don't know. And this is garland lighting I use in the basement as well. And then we, last but not least here, 4 little trash cans. I use those for parties specifically. They just always live down here. They fit really nicely right there. And that is everything. So I'll just give you one more kind of look through here. Standing out in the hallway, as you walk in, you see the summer and spring storage and the paint, our freezer. Oh, and that's an ice maker. I don't know if I mentioned that. An extra table, garment, rack, winter and fall storage bins, seasonal decorations, out of reach old Halloween party decorations that I don't need to reach anytime in the near future, but I wanted to save, linens and such, cleaning supplies and such. I am probably going to replace that sink with a nicer sink. That's just a double utility tub, but I think I'm going to get a nicer one. I forgot to mention I have an extra bucket and also some extra tiles that go to the basement. The gray ones on the left go to the bathroom down here, and those go to our gym. So that's that. All of the laundry things, I'm going to post a separate video on that. All of my extra boxes, bins, as well as rags and packing materials, and this other table I put there, and then our utility system. And that, my friends, is everything. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it was a huge transformation, and all of my efforts, I felt, really, really paid off. I finished actually right before I filmed my after tour this morning, and I felt so good. It was like, it was such an accomplishment. It was such a feat because it's been something, like I said, that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and it's been on my nerves having that clutter in there. And even though it's like not a room, you know, that people see really, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I put it off for so long, because, you know, nobody sees it, so I didn't feel like such pressure to work on it. But it felt like so good. I don't know how else to describe it. If you need a pick-me-up and you're in like a rut or a slump or something, organize something. Organize like a drawer or your purse or your desk or something. Even just like a little area, and you will feel so much better, guaranteed. At least in my experience. But I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I like that it's flexible. It is totally changeable, and now it's so open and I can really see everything so well. That was my main goal, really. That was the only real plan I had, was to put in those extra shelves above the laundry area and open up the floor, you know, move the furniture out of the middle of the floor so I could see. And I am just so pleased. It is like a breath of fresh air walking in there. I mean, I'm in that room several times a week to do laundry, and obviously when it's time to decorate or like pull something out of storage, I'm in there too. And now it's so nice and easy to find things and clean and tidy, and oh my god, I did so much dusting. I spent like a whole day cleaning in there, all the dusting that needed to be done, and vacuuming and mopping. It was, you know, it was almost like a spring clean, sort of like a fall cleanup, I guess. But it was very rewarding, and I know it's going to pay off that I spent the time and did all the bin transfers, that I didn't put that off until when it's, you know, time for whatever season it is to get the decorations out. I took the time and I did all of the putting away of things that were out and the rearranging of things for the new organizational system by season and room. I'm glad I really did that all at once, and it's like a whole completed project. It's like I feel like there's no loose ends. I really completed the project, and I'm very pleased. So that was my like huge project, and the reason I was kind of MIA for a little bit there. But I'm very happy with the results, and I have some more little projects I was also working at simultaneously on my days off when I need to like rest my neck or my shoulders, which my neck has been like what suffered the most from all the lifting and stuff. But I was working on doing a bit of a master closet update, just a little tiny tweaks here and there, and I have a couple videos that I'm going to be posting probably next showcasing those little changes, kind of giving you guys a little overview of that. So that was like during my days off of the big project, I work on the little projects. But I am around, and I am hoping that you enjoyed this video and maybe you found something useful from it. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope maybe it inspired you to go organize something, even if it's just like one bin or, like I said, like your purse or something. Trust me, it'll make you feel better, because I mean, I've had days where I've just really needed to focus on something other than what's happening in my brain, and organizational projects are the best thing for that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for watching, and take care. Bye.